All right, everybody, welcome back. I just got back from the oyster farm and came back with a really beautiful bounty of fresh oysters. As a matter of fact, I grew these from seed, part of a nonprofit out here called South Fork Sea Farmers. Yeah, I only have 5 farms. We've got over 200 families growing oysters, and anytime we want oysters, we just go down to the farm and harvest them right out of the water. It's winter. It's about 28 degrees, so I still have my waders on and I'm a little wet, but I wanted to get this done and show you guys how to make a really fantastic dish. But first, we have to show you how to shuck an oyster. And a lot of people are very, very nervous about shucking oysters, including Jack. My dog Jack is growling in the background. Jack, come here. Come over here. Jeez, I might have a gap and do hooky. Jeff, do you know how to shuck oysters? Is that why you're crying? Okay. I'm gonna show you guys now how to shuck an oyster. I promise you it's very easy with a few very simple tools. An oyster shucker, you could get them anywhere online, get them on Amazon, get them from your favorite company. This one happens to be from Island Creek up in Massachusetts. And then you want a rag. That is it. That's all you need. And so I'm going to show you how to shuck. Okay, so here we have a beautiful oyster. These are from 3 Mile Harbor. And you'll notice that the oyster here is connected by 2 shells. You have the top shell and then the bottom plate. And then there's a hinge. And there's a little spot here in the hinge where you actually are going to pop that oyster open. So the first thing you want to do is you want to get your towel. Okay, this way you don't hurt yourself, and it also gives you a good grip on the oyster. What I like to do is cover the oyster here with my hand, so it gives me good positioning. And then you want to find where that little hinge is, which is right here. And so you don't have to do it too hard. Everyone just applies way too much pressure. And you just want to go in and kind of shimmy a little bit and shimmy a little bit even more until you feel like you have enough leverage, and then you basically push up and you just hear that crack. So now I've actually cracked the oyster open, and now I'm just going to slightly lift it a little more, right? And then I'm going to pop it open and cut along the top of the shell, which is going to release the meat. Okay? So here now you've got the oyster, you've got the bottom shell. Okay? You want to clean out any debris that you might have from a shell. Okay? And then finally, you want it to look nice and pretty for a preparation. And so you just kind of come in here. This is the connector to the actual shell that it actually grows. And you just want to cut it, which releases that meat, and then flip it over. Now you have a beautiful oyster that you could actually eat raw right now. But what we're gonna do today is we're gonna make a delicious broiled oyster. And I'm gonna show you how to do that very simple. It's a crowd pleaser. So now we're gonna take you through how to make broiled oysters. It's actually really, really easy. Just a few steps. Now that we've shucked our oyster, all we need is breadcrumbs, Parmesan, chives, butter, and a little bit of a prosciutto or pancetta or an Iberico ham, whatever you fancy. Any of them will do. And this is kind of a little bit of a, I would say a redo of a kind of Southern style that you would get in New Orleans, but with a little bit more luxe experience for a dinner party. And it's one of my favorites. I don't think anybody I've ever met has not liked this, including people who don't like oysters, okay? We're gonna need some garlic, our breadcrumbs, our Parmesan, our butter, and some chives, and we have some beautiful prosciutto over here. So first thing is first, we wanna use a good chef knife. This is actually Schmidt Brothers. I love it because it has these ridges, and it allows me to really smash this garlic and get it into a really nice fine paste. And generally speaking, I also like to use a little bit of salt on here so I can really pull this See how easy this is with these ridges? Great, very flexible knife too. You know, some average person that'd be sitting here chopping garlic, now we have a paste in 2 seconds, okay? Pop that right into your butter, okay? Now we have our oyster, and all we're gonna do is we're gonna add a little bit of that garlic butter to the oyster, okay? Then I'm gonna put a little bit of breadcrumbs on here, just for a little bit of texture, then some Parmesan. And then we are going to just take a little bit of that prosciutto, just for some color. And I like the saltiness of it too. Goes with the brine. Oops. And then we're just gonna pop this in the oven and broil it until it's nice and brown. So for these oysters, it's super easy. You're just gonna put them in on broil on high until they're golden brown. Here we go. In the water, literally 20 minutes ago, and on a plate. Anybody can do that.